was really that bad, you'd have left me. He says that to you, and maybe not during a fight. Maybe it's calm, offhand, right after dinner, right after spicy time, right when you're trying to have a real conversation. And it sounds so logical, right? So reasonable, like he's just stating a fact, but he's not, because that line isn't logic. It's a trap. And it's not about clarity. It is about control, because what he's really saying is, as long as you're still here, I can pretend that I didn't do anything wrong. And it works. Suddenly, instead of focusing on what he actually did, you're questioning yourself. Why didn't I just leave? Am I too sensitive? Maybe it's not abuse. Maybe I'm overreacting. And that one sentence, it just spins the whole thing around, because now you're the one on trial. And when you're on trial, you start scrambling for a defense. You start picking yourself apart. You replay every argument, every moment, every reaction. You're trying to figure out if maybe he's right. You start arguing with yourself in the shower, rehearsing your explanations that he's never going to listen to anyway. So before I go deeper, really quick, if we haven't met yet, I'm Lisa Sonni. I'm a certified relationship coach, author, and the creator of the Break and Rebuild method. I help women break trauma bonds and rebuild the confidence they didn't even realize that they've lost. So if this is hitting home, hit that subscribe button, because I make videos that name abuse for what it is. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just the truth that helps you heal. Okay, so back to that line. If it was so bad, you'd leave me. Well, here's what that really sounds like out in the wild, right? You still sleep with me, so clearly I'm not abusive. You didn't call the cops, so how bad could it really be? If I was such a monster, why do you always come back? You posted a photo of us smiling, and now I'm the villain? Last night you were moaning, and now you're calling me abusive. Really? Yeah. Suddenly your pain doesn't matter, your fear doesn't matter, and your silence that they coerced gets used against you. The worst part, you start to believe it. And I get it, because he says it like it's the truth, like it's basic logic, like you're the one being irrational. But it's not the truth. It's manipulation, and it's deliberate. He is not confused. He's not curious. He's not looking to make things better. He's saying it to flip the script on you, to make you question your own reality. This is gaslighting. It's to keep you stuck and doubting and spinning and apologizing for how he made you feel. He says it to shut you down. It's just a total conversation reset. So instead of him holding himself accountable, God forbid, now you're defending why you stayed. It's not just a line. It is a tactic, and it's leverage. Because if you stay, he gets to say, see, I must not be that bad. And if you leave, see, you never really loved me. You just gave up. No matter what you do, he wins. Welcome to being with a narcissist, right? No win situations. And look, I know it's not just him saying it. Society says it too. If it was really abuse, then why didn't she just leave, right? She stayed, so maybe it wasn't that bad. Well, why is she talking about it just now? You hear it in courtrooms and group chats. It's in your aunt's voice over the phone. You hear it in even well-meaning friends who say, but he seems like such a nice guy. You hear it from your pastor telling you to pray harder. You hear it from therapists who ask you if maybe you're just triggered, right? As if survival is consent. As if staying proves that it wasn't abuse. As if love and fear can't exist in the same space. They can. The truth that I think you need to hear is that you didn't stay because it wasn't that bad. You stayed because it was that bad, because it was that manipulative. And that's scary and confusing. You stayed because he blurred the lines between pain and love until you couldn't even tell the difference. You stayed because part of you still hoped that he meant what he said when he promised to change. You stayed because you didn't want to give up on somebody that you really loved, because you thought that that's what love was, being patient and loyal and forgiving, being the bigger person. But that's not love. It's survival. It looks quiet, and it looks like pretending that you're fine when your stomach is in knots. It looks like spicy time that you really didn't want because you were too tired to say no again, or too afraid to say no again. It looks like just letting things go again and again, always to avoid his explosion. Looks like defending him to your friends, crying in the shower so no one hears, buying him something after he yells just to keep the peace. tracking his moods like the friggin' weather reports. Looks like changing what you wear, what you say, what you think, because you already know what's going to set him off. Looks like telling your family that he's just really stressed right now, right? When really you're just trying to hide the bruises that nobody can actually see. So no, staying doesn't mean that it wasn't abuse. It means that the abuse worked. The moment that he said, if I was so bad, then you would leave, he told on himself, because no healthy partner needs to use your loyalty as proof of their innocence. They would be focused on how you feel, not how long you've stayed. That sentence, that is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of how well his tactics have landed. He knows that you're compassionate and loyal, and he knows that you want to believe in people. He knows your fear, your hope, your guilt, your wiring, and he uses it all against you. He's not asking for insight, right? He's literally saying, I dare you to question your own pain. He's making you responsible for fixing what he keeps breaking on purpose. And he doesn't drop that line when you're already angry. He waits until you're calm, when things feel okay, when things are steady, when you finally take a deep breath and think, okay, maybe it's safe to talk again. But that's when he's going to drop it, right? Low voice, steady tone, like it's just common sense, like it's the truth. But that's always when it hits the hardest, because it kind of sounds like reason, right? It doesn't sound like rage. When he's calm, that's what throws you off. It makes you the dramatic one, like you imagined everything. And don't forget, he already knows that you carry guilt. Not abandoning him, about the kids, about not being enough, about failing at something that you really tried to save. So when he says, if it was really that bad, you'd have left me, it doesn't sound like a statement. I think it kind of sounds like an accusation. And if you've ever heard that line and just felt that like lump in your throat or felt air leave your lungs, like you couldn't even explain what was happening, even to yourself, it's not trauma and it's not overreacting. That's what psychological abuse actually feels like. And I want you to name it and label it, because it's not just what he does. It's what it makes you do to yourself. So if that line is still kind of repeating itself in your head, I want you to flip it. If it was really that bad, why did he need to convince you that it wasn't? Right? Why did he need to gaslight you, guilt you, silence you, love bomb you? Why did he need to beg you to stay if he wasn't doing anything wrong? Exactly. And on that note, if this guy really had the control, he wouldn't need to coerce you into staying or into being compliant. But to be fair, that's another topic. You didn't stay because you were broken. You stayed because he conditioned you to. You were trauma bonded, hooked on that cycle of pain and relief and hope. Just enough softness to make you think that this time would be different. Just enough apology to keep you holding on to this relationship. Just enough hope to keep you questioning what you already knew deep down. Now, you're allowed to see it. You're allowed to name it, and you are allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to walk away, run away even if you love him, even if you stayed, even if you defended him, even if you still miss him. That doesn't make you the problem. It makes you someone who lived through manipulation and is finally calling it what it was. Keep watching, keep learning, break the spell, break the illusion. Hit subscribe if this hits home, and share it with someone who needs to hear it, or with someone that you wish would finally understand. If you want to go deeper, check out my podcast, Real Talk with Lisa Sonni, Relationships Uncensored, where I say all the things that no one else is saying out loud. You're not imagining it. He just convinced you that you were.